Hello, and thank you, Jim and Virginie. We are really pleased that you can come and help and do a session. So I'm really appreciating that you do this for me so I can help my students to do a breakdown of your session. And for everyone out there, this is a real session. Jim will be the client and Virginie will be the therapist. So thank you again and enjoy.
Thanks, Magda.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Jim.
Hi, Virginie.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's good to hear. So what is it that you'd like to work on today?
I have an issue with procrastination. So whenever and it just seems to be across the board, and I don't really know why I'm so inclined to putting things off, and it can be small things and it can be like really big, important things. But for some reason, I just kind of set it aside until the last minute, and then I have to do it. And I'd like to.
And then you have to do it.
Right.
So
I'd like to be more timely. To be more timely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you would like, to be more timely. Right. So what are those things? Because you told me there are small things, bigger things. So what are we talking about?
Well, it can be like, I work from home. And so putting the trash out, I know I have to put the trash out, but I wait until the afternoon, really just before my wife comes home, because if I don't put the trash out before she comes home, then she gets upset with me. but that's an example. Or, doing my taxes. And it's funny because I'm a project manager. And so for other people, my expertise is planning their projects out and doing just flow charting them out and breaking things down into tasks and all that stuff. But when it applies to myself, it just doesn't work.
Right. It doesn't work. Well, how can someone that's this good in planning cannot plan for
And
himself?
there it is.
Yeah, and there it is.
All right. There's a reason they call us a hot seat when you're the client, right? I don't know. It's obviously something that's deep rooted, because that is quite the paradox that I've got a master's degree in management and project management, and I can help everybody else out to the nth degree, and yet I can't apply the same principles to myself.
Yeah, you can't apply it for yourself. What's stopping you, Jim, from applying it to yourself?
Well, so I did have one success. I do all the cooking in the house, and I really hated food prep. And I actually had a session before with food prep.
Okay.
And I came to the realization that one of the subconscious reasons that I didn't like food prep is because I was always burning my hands, getting things in and out of the stove, or cutting my hands. Like one time I was peeling vegetables and I filleted the skin off my finger.
Yeah.
So
it was
then
risky.
I thought, okay, when you take things in and out of the oven, you have oven mitts. And then I looked on Amazon, and this is not a shameful plug for Amazon. So when I looked online, I found out that there was food preparation gloves that had like Kevlar or something in the gloves. And so I thought, well, heck, I get those gloves and then I don't have to worry about burning myself or cutting myself when I'm using a knife. And then I actually took it one step further 2 weeks ago, and I bought a Thermomix. And I don't know if you guys know what a Thermomix is.
Yeah, it does everything.
Right.
Heaven on earth.
So now all I got
in the kitchen.
all I got to do is just put the things in there, and it does it all by itself. So there I had a reason for, I was procrastinating, but I, through multiple sessions on different slices of that puzzle, I was able to come up with a workable solution. And if I could just apply that same thought to everything else in my life,
right,
then I would
so
be
you need
happy.
a Thermomix. You need a live Thermomix. Yeah, but it's great insight. And do you enjoy cooking now?
Oh yeah, see, I used to always hate baking, and now I don't have to worry about it because there's something that already takes all the dry and liquid ingredients and mixes it all up, and it rises for you, and it's phenomenal.
So you don't have to do a thing.
Well, just be the manager.
Conceptualizing, being the project manager, what you're good at.
True.
Yeah, that's true. Right. So what is that thing that you would like not to procrastinate on?
A specific thing or in general?
I guess, is there like a project or something that's on your mind and that you don't seem to commit to it?
Yeah, like I just got this software that I have to learn about so that I can help other people market themselves. And that's what the software does.
Did you notice, Jim, that you cleared your voice just a minute ago?
I did.
Yeah. How does that feel?
I think it stems from kind of like a feeling of constriction here. And that's why I do that.
Yeah.
Which is, I never really, it's interesting that
That's right.
It seems like there's something that wants to come out, but it's just constricted right there.
There's something that wants to come out. Yeah, there you go. Something that wants to come out. There you go.
And it's not, I'm trying to clear my mind and see what, like the magic 8-ball, what's going to bubble up to the surface and give me some insight. And but I do have this urge to clear my throat again. So
there's an urge,
right?
Because there's a restriction.
Like I said, it seems like there's a constriction right here, and right.
Where is that urge now? There's an urge.
When you mention that, now I don't have to clear my throat, but thinking about it, then I do for some reason.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you feel about the problem now? about everything we've talked about?
It doesn't seem to be much of, and I'm thinking of a hill. And so when we first started, the hill was like really tall, and now the hill is like a mound instead of a hill.
Like a mound. Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
you gazing away. Is it what you were sort of picturing? Was it that hill becoming a mound?
Yes.
That's right.
So,
And how's the throat now? How's the constriction?
it's not as noticeable as it was earlier.
Not as noticeable. Yeah. So you're getting better at it.
I think so. There's still not clarity there yet, though.
There's not clarity. Yeah. So why is clarity important to you? What do you need clarity on?
Just an insight into a resource that I can apply to my procrastination.
Right. You're looking for a resource. Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
I wonder, Jim, I wonder what's amount has to do with your problem. That's right. There you go.
So I look at the mound as and this is going to really make me seem like a geek, in terms of thermodynamics. So in other words, if you're trying to go up a hill, it requires a certain amount of energy to go up the hill until you go over the top of the hill, and then it takes less energy because it's a downhill slope. So I'm equating the hill to whatever it is that's inside of me that makes me procrastinate.
Right. And it makes sense. And I wonder what's the connection, now that you're talking about it, between a thermomix and a thermodynamics. There you go. That was that energy all along, wasn't it?
Yes.
There you go.
So there, the word popped up in my mind, fun.
Fun.
Yeah. So I think I have to learn how to make fun out of things.
Yeah.
So if I don't look at the things that I have to do, the tasks that I have to do, if I don't look at the negative side of it and look at more of what will happen, what the benefits are from doing it, then I guess you could call it more optimistic, or just making it fun or enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you thought about it this way before?
No.
I
But
haven't.
when you mentioned about the Thermomix, I was thinking about what about that really attracted me to that, as that application of what I before I used to procrastinate doing, and it was the fun aspect of it.
That was the fun aspect of it. That was the fun aspect of it. So now that you found that, and that you do have more clarity about that resources that you just found for yourself with the fun aspect, how do you feel about everything that we've talked about? How do you feel about learning this software?
I just have to look at it as like a puzzle, or something where it's not something that I'm not going to like. I just need to find out what I would like about it, and apply that fun element to these different tasks.
Yeah. To find what you might like about it. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just curious now. So what made you got interested in that software in the first place?
Well, I just if for that I was interested in it because it's going to help me overcome part of what I foresee as procrastination, is worrying about all the amount of social media postings, creating the content,
Right.
organizing, scheduling them, editing the videos and all that stuff. And if I could get something that streamlines all that and makes it more efficient, then
you have more fun with it.
Then it can be fun instead of being a task that I just don't like, but I know that I have to do. But something else in my background came up as you were talking to me. And that is, in my lifetime, I've always been more successful when I took a risk. And specifically when I was in working, I would say, what is it that I don't like about my job? And then I would volunteer to do something that would force me into doing what I didn't like and taking a risk. And it's kind of like, goes back to the notion of, if you really want to learn a subject, you should teach it. Because in order to teach something, you have to know that subject in and out.
You have to learn it twice. Yeah.
When I was most successful at work when I took on projects of things that I knew I didn't like, especially, but I knew that if I could get the education about it and all that stuff as a prerequisite to taking that task on, then I actually flourished and did extremely well.
Wow. And did you manage to have fun with it as you were flourishing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So those are all examples of what I did in the past was very successful, that I can use the same sort of thought process toward all these other mundane tasks or more important ones too.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah.
So can I just interject here, because I'm just curious here, and you've been brilliant, Virginie and Jim. Thank you for sharing. But I'm just really curious to think, well, if you took on risks and they were successful, how much fun did you have? Or did you have fun at all, of course?
Well, they were calculated risks. So I'll give you an example. So I was in the military for 27 years. And the first time I was a company commander in the Army, I was in charge of training new soldiers, new engineers into the Army how to use construction equipment. So we had over 500 pieces of construction equipment. And my boss's boss was very much imposing upon my boss that all of that construction equipment needed to be camouflage painted.
Needed to be, sorry?
So, need to be camouflage painted.
Okay, yep.
So painted in a camouflage
Yep,
design.
yep.
So my boss was trying to figure out how he was going to do it. And so I knew that that was something that I knew that I could project manage that and get it done, and no one else could. And that could set me aside. That could make me more noticeable out of all the other people. I was a captain at that time. So all the other captains, if I could achieve this project and be successful, that would raise my my ability. So I thought about it, and I asked for certain resources to help me. And I went to my battalion commander and I said, if you give me these resources, I'll take this job on. And he looked at me like, wow, you this is like a gift from God. You're volunteering to do this project that I've been dragging my feet on. So I got a couple of guys from the maintenance shop to help me. And I got this young, hard charging sergeant, and we just blitzed everything. Everything was camouflage painted. And it was funny because my battalion commander had this little John Deere tractor on his desk that was orange. And so over the weekend, we stole it and camouflage painted it, put it back on his desk. We had a piece of equipment that was stuck in the mud out. We were building a lake, and my sergeant figured out another piece of equipment that could go out there, and he could camouflage paint this piece of equipment that was stuck in the mud. And after I got this all done in like 6 weeks, the brigade commander, my boss's boss, came to talk to us, and he was laughing. He goes, Jim, you did such a good job that you ended up camouflage painting some leased civilian equipment that we had. And so they were pissed. They were pissed off that they gave us an orange vehicle and they got back a camouflage vehicle. So
that's a great story.
So I took, I knew, because of my training and my planning, I knew that if I was given the right resources, that I could make this successful. And another story was I hated supply. Couldn't stand supply. And so I said, okay, I'm going to volunteer to be the chief supply guy for my unit. And in order to do that, I went through all the training and learned how to do it, so that when I assumed the job, I had everything I knew I needed to be successful.
Right.
As opposed to someone saying, okay, you're going to do this, and then not have, I could play my cards right by volunteering to do it. So that's the difference, is just looking at tasks and just finding some way of making myself really making either fun or
knowledgeable or experienced.
Or a challenge. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So now I just need to figure out how I can challenge myself to do all these things.
What a good looking question.
And I need my whiteboard.
A whiteboard.
Yeah. My whiteboard is, I couldn't, when I was working, I couldn't work without a whiteboard. It was my, I brainstormed on my whiteboard.
Yeah. Do you have one now? Are you working with one currently?
No.
Mm.
So I have to
There
go
you
out and
go.
get one.
One supply and one resources.
Okay. How can I make trash more interesting?
Oh, well, you could be singing on the way, you know, like rolling the bag. You could open the bin and try to basket case with it.
Oh yeah,
Many ways.
yeah. That's true. No, but that is it's really funny looking on the progression of this session where when I was clearing my throat, and by the way, the tightness in my chest is gone. Haven't cleared my throat.
And you haven't. Yeah, noticed.
And so yeah, I just thought back of these instances where I challenged myself to do something that I didn't want to do. And I came up with ways in order to make me not only do it, to be very successful in doing it at the same time.
Yeah. Not only do it, but yeah, being successful doing it. Yeah. So you just told me that you didn't have that constriction anymore in the throat.
No.
And how about his mount? Can you still see it, or has it become something different?
The what, please?
Mount?
Oh. I don't see a mound anymore.
You don't see a mount anymore.
No.
Right.
For me, I've got a light bulb. And you could look at the light bulb this way, or you can look at the light bulb this way, or you could look at the light bulb this way.
Right.
So my challenge to myself is, if this is a metaphor for a task, how can I look at this light bulb in different ways to make myself challenged or excited about overcoming that or doing that task?
Yeah. And now that there's no more constriction in your throat and that you cannot see a mount anymore, how do you feel about this software project or procrastination in general?
Well, now I'm intrigued to see how I can look at the brighter side of things. What I used to think of as tedious and drudgery, how I can make it more exciting.
You can make it more exciting, right? How do you know?
Well, I just have the memories of all the things in my past where I not only took the challenge on, but was quite successful in accomplishing it.
Challenge. Yeah, you took the challenge on and you were being very successful.
Yeah. So that's
even beyond painting civil equipment. You went even beyond requirements.
Well, yeah, I didn't know it at the time, but you know.
For sure. That was the fun part of it.
That's right. They just gave me let me off the leash, and I exceeded their expectations.
And let you out of the leash. Yeah. And let you out of the leash. What happened then?
Oh, I was just reveling and thinking about some of the other things I've done in my life.
Thinking away. Connecting all the resources. The risks, challenges, and the fun. All of that which made you successful. That's right. Doing a great job. Yeah. What happened?
I don't know.
How do you feel now about everything?
Good. I'm excited.
Excited. About?
Oh, about how I can start thinking about lemons and thinking about lemonade instead of thinking about lemons.
Yeah. Exciting. So now that you're feeling excited about it, how do you feel about procrastination?
What I feel about procrastination is the word motivation just popped up.
Wow. Motivation.
So I just need to look at the task from different perspectives to see how I can motivate myself into making it fun.
Yeah.
And it's about perspective.
It is about perspective. Yeah.
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 So that's my new insight because of this. Thank you.
You're welcome. You did the whole thing. You had that light bulb all along.
Oh yeah, the light bulb. Wow.
You want to
Actually,
test some more? Sorry, Jim.
Actually, this is a holder for paper clips, but it's also a light
Yeah.
bulb.
Yeah. You had it all along. Well, Jim, it's just been a little bit more than 30 minutes, and you told me at the beginning that couldn't motivate yourself, for simple tasks. So I'm just curious about how does this sudden change in perspective will make you get motivated to do these things?
Now I want to build a slide down the stairs so I can take the trash and put on the slide and go whoosh.
Whoosh.
That's much more fun than picking it up and dragging it down the stairs. No, and that's my whole point. Is as a matter of perspective. And you know, if you sit there and look at a sour lemon as opposed to lemonade, the motivation is the lemonade and not the lemon.
It is. Are you telling me that you're feeling excited to get a trash out?
Or maybe I could train the dog how to do it. Who knows?
I love that option better. Actually, I think they're all brilliant. I'm not sure if you can get motivated about taking the trash out, but I can see that you can have fun with it, which is already a good start.
Yeah, now my problem is how do I grow my Chihuahua up so that it can take the trash out? I'm just joking. I don't have a dog, but it would be nice to. I mean, you can teach dogs how to go fetch a beer, right? So
true. Open the fridge.
Great job, guys. So good. So, I mean, you really went into his ETM, you know, and some stories you brought some stories up that Jim came up with. So, Jim, how's that throat, just out of curiosity?
It's fine. The constriction is no longer there. It's more of a excited energy that's kind of around me right now.
Wow. Fabulous, John. Fabulous. And your questioning was great. I mean, it really was. It was bringing him back from, you know, the start with the mound and getting him to relate to it. And really bringing it all together because, you know, he had a few conflicts there, a few paradoxes there. And you brought a story out that he could then go back to. So no, excellent, excellent. And Jim, everything, how are you feeling?
Like I said, I have a lot of energy now to
perfect.
To make the bed that you can't see in the background because I've got a window.